Hey Radiant Souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Heather. I am an intuitive counselor, author, artist, animal communicator, energy healer, and once a month, I compile a monthly energy forecast, partnering with my team of spirit and multidimensional guides to bring through typically a theme and some things that we can look out for as a community, as individuals, to help us prepare and weather the energy of the upcoming month. So this is the energy forecast for March 2023. That being said, if you're coming to this at a time that is not in preparation for March 2023, trust that there may still be something here for you. The energy is fluid. It is conditional on who is experiencing it as well. So if you feel resonant with this message at a time that is not March 2023, that just means it's a message that's for you in that time. So I hope you'll stick around and watch, even if it is not in advance of March 2023. As part of the monthly message, I bring through a theme, a little bit of channeled guidance. We look at some channeled artwork as well. So all of that is coming up for March 2023. But before we get there, how are you guys doing? How is everybody out there? Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know how you're doing. I have a little allergy situation. If you see me sniffling or my eyes start watering or my nose is running, it's that change in seasons that kind of gets me caught off guard every year. I was going to say every month, every year. See, I'm already caught off guard. So for March 2023, the first thing that came through was actually a channeled transmission that I feel guided to read as it came through. So rather than me talking through some of the messages first, I'm going to read what came through and then we'll dissect it a little bit more after that, okay? So here it is. I don't really have, there's not a title or whatever. It feels like a poem, but you know, if you've been here for a while, you know that my guides have some flowery language sometimes. And if you are new here, this can be your introduction to it. If you're not new, this will feel familiar. Patterns, echoes, and repetitions. Your world is both mirroring and forecasting truths and lies. The truth is within the lie, couched and covered, the light ingredient sandwiched within the density of distraction and destruction. Watch how the elements are used and manipulated for fear, for avarice, for gain. They are used and manipulated both in their wholeness and in combination. The earth echoes, the air anguishes, the water weeps, the fire forges. And the unhealthy combinations breed loss and destruction. Recognize all that is occurring, yet do not internalize. Control your own chemistry and then externalize your internal state. Recognize your true reality. So the word or theme of the month for March 2023 is recognition, and we'll dive a little deeper into that. But for me, this channel transmission felt really relevant and touching on a lot of the things that we're seeing going on in the world. And because YouTube can be fussy, we're not going to name things out word for word or really call out different situations. But if you look at things from an elemental perspective, so earth, air, fire, water, if you look around, we've had earthquakes, we've had fires, we've had water being impacted, we've had air being impacted. So all of that, I feel that this transmission is speaking to some of that and then asking us as we look at that, as we take that in, as we witness that in our world, how does that lead us into March and what can we do when we have witnessed that? So the guidance is the word recognition, but as we usually do, we're going to break it down into recognition. And there's an emphasis on the word cog as if you would see it as like a gear in a machine. So the guidance behind that is we are often led to feel like we're just almost an insignificant or a tiny part of something way bigger than us. We just get kind of rolled into place and manipulated, and it can have that feel of things trying to trample over you, or your buttons being pushed, your gears being pushed, and things like that. But in looking at recognition or recognition, it's to know again. It's to recall yourself and remembering that you're a piece of the whole. You are a gear in that greater machine, but not in the way that others may see you, or that controllers may see you, or that the world at large may see you, because that is a reductive perspective. That is you as a tiny little insignificant piece. And the message for March is to remember that, yeah, I'm a tiny little piece, but guess what? With my tiny little piece, my cog, my gear in this machine, I have a bigger impact than perhaps you were betting on or counting on. So looking at the individualized and the collective power of your own gear, your recognition, your knowing of yourself. And specifically, what was interesting for me in this guidance, it's talking about, or the team and everything I'm feeling for March is really focusing on regulating your nervous system. And we've done some videos recently about breathwork techniques and things like that. And I think maybe that was even echoing what was to come for this message. But it's really pulling back your perspective and looking that, yeah, some of us think that, there are manipulative powers in the world, or a struggle for power, if you want to look at it like that, and perhaps structures and things in place in the world that don't have our best interest, or don't see us as as amazing and radiant as we are. Want to control us, think we need help, think we aren't right, think we're one thing or another. And part of the messaging of everything that we see around this, and this comes as no surprise to a lot of you, is fear. It is, this thing is coming, that thing is coming, don't do this, don't do that. There's this disruption here, there's this eruption over there, and it's like this constant bombardment of it. That is that control of I need or something, not I, but the greater, whatever, the controlling factors or factions of the world that need to manipulate and drive and sculpt things. We are manipulated and driven and sculpted easier when we are in that almost depleted state, when we are fearful, when we are feeling disempowered. And we all know this. This is not news. This is not, oh my gosh, this is like the discovery of the century. We know how that works. But I think the message for March is that, you know what? We've seen it for so long now. What are you doing as an individual? And what can you continue to do? And what can you maybe try to do differently? If you feel like you're really good at this and you just let the scary stuff fly on past you, I commend you for that. For a lot of people, it takes a tremendous effort to it's almost like, I feel like Wonder Woman, is it, that had the cuffs where you deflect stuff that's coming at you. No, I'm not going to be afraid or pulled off balance from that. So it's continuing to do that, but there may be new ways that you need to rise to that occasion. There may be new things that you need to recognize, have recognition of within yourself, things that are triggering you to be not chill, for lack of a better word, things that are pulling you off your center. So, and then reclaiming that. And so the visual that I was seeing, going back to the cog in the machine or the gear in the machine, is that if you picture them all kind of interconnected, the busier you are, the busier your nervous system is, the more you're in fight or flight mode. Your little gear is spinning, which is allowing all the other gears to spin that quickly. And it's all I want to say it's spinning out of control. But if you're the gear who is zen and you're just sitting there and you just hold your space without getting caught up in the cycles and the churning, then the rest of everything slows down. Your gear doesn't click into the next gear, which then clicks into the next, and so on and so forth. And so the guidance was in that recognition of how to, I think that it even said, know your own chemistry, in knowing that, okay, this thing I'm feeling or this need that I have to feel kind of jumpy or on edge or stressed, that's my body looking for a specific chemistry. It's the chemistry of fear. When we have thoughts and emotions, they combine to release chemicals in the body, and then we kind of get addicted to that. So really looking honestly and openly with yourself, are you kind of in that regard, your own junkie, where you're kind of saying, okay, everything looks great today. It's an amazing day. And then there's this little impulse within you that says, oh, I could use a little stress because that gets me, I get a little motivated when I'm stressed. When I procrastinate, I do things a lot better because it's under the wire. I've got to really get it going. So really knowing how your chemistry is working, either with your own thoughts and emotions or your own thoughts and emotions plus what you're witnessing in the world. How are you alchemizing that? And what are you doing? Because when you're in that constant movement of reaction, that is when the cog is moving and everything else gets moving. And then we're almost fulfilling or echoing out that kind of antsiness or fear or stress or anxiety in the world. But when you're still and you find your inner stillness, whether it's through breath work, whether it's just, even saying, no, world, you're not catching me out today. Nope, I'm good. Body, you're just looking for stress because you want to feel a certain way. We're going to replace that. It's like switching out an ingredient when you're on a diet. Like, nope, I'm going to take the low-fat version instead of this or whatever it is. And then you are holding your own. You're preventing that traction of everything else taking hold. So it's not to feel overwhelmed by that, oh geez, I've contributed to everything, but just having that awareness, having that recognition of the role that you can play. And for so many of us, I know we want to step up and do more and make a difference. And sometimes we're challenged to think, well, what's the one big thing I can do? Or, what's the movement I can join? What's the whatever? And it starts even smaller than that, but that is no less potent and powerful. So controlling your own state of being, your own chemistry, as it says here in the guidance, can be so powerful and helpful and ripple out. Or as the cog, it can slow things down around you. So another part of the guidance was to kind of revisit that metaphor of the elements, where it said, the earth echoes, the water weeps, the air anguishes, and the fire forges. When we're using our recognition of ourself and how we're reacting to things or how we're just moving from day to day to day, what kind of cog are you in the wheel, in the gear, in the machine? Looking at those elements, again, just to give you a different kind of viewpoint, a different pair of glasses and how you look at something. So when you consider the earth, think of what grounds you, what is connecting you. Air, what moves you out of place, what causes you to sway off your center. Fire, what warms you and restores you. And water, what refreshes and cleanses you. So that's just, for anybody who does the kind of inner work, where you're like, oh, I really need to work on myself. This is just another perspective to say, earth, air, wind, and fire, what do you got? What's grounding me? What's moving me off my center or keeping me in place, helping me stand up straight? What is fueling me or warming me? And then what is refreshing and cleansing me? And just identifying those things for yourself every day helps you keep your eyes on your own paper as well, instead of being swayed by everything around you. So I want to talk to you about the art for the month. And as I pull it up, if you enjoy this piece, if you like the look of it, if you resonate with it, it is available for a free digital download for the month that it applies. And then after that, you can purchase a digital download. And often people will hang these up just as a reminder of the message. You can also use it, on your devices, on your screens. What's very cool about this type of art is that not only does it look a certain way, like they have a certain presence about them, they have a certain character or texture, but there is frequency and there are healing energies and codes baked into the piece. And specifically in this one, there's actually some light language underneath some of the layers. So you can't see it, but it's back there and it's baked in. So as you work with this piece, as you look at it, as you put it on your phone, as you maybe also order a print and hang it up in your house, however you work with it, it's working with you. It's kind of a partnership, and I know that sounds weird, but that's how these pieces work. So as I look at this art, what I'm seeing here and what I know as the artist came through is this message again of the elements. So if we start at the right-hand side of the art as you're looking at it, there's just two smaller lines and then like infinity symbols kind of stacked. They almost look like coils or like a radiator, but those are representing roots. So that's your earthing, that those two, actually before the radiator coils, the two pieces kind of branching out like a Y to the right. Those are your roots. So that's the earth piece. And then it tethers down into further roots with those infinity symbols going all the way through. Inside of or outside of the infinity symbols, these are so hard to describe, are like we have a triangle or a crystalline shape, two triangles, top to bottom, diamond shapes actually, and those represent air. The giant squiggly to the left of that is the flow of water, and then off to the farthest left of the piece, the kind of squiggly lines going out diagonally, that represents fire, and the kind of squared off shape in between those fire lines is the cog. That's the kind of gear of the machine. And then I was guided also to specifically note the colors in this because they're actually related to frequencies of a couple of specific crystals. So those of you who like to work with crystals and the frequency of crystals, take heart. They're in here. This can be fun for you. This can be, maybe you need an excuse to add a couple more crystals to your collection. So here you go. The blue colors, and there are several different shades of blue here, but overall, the blue that is in here is connected to the gemstone Larimar. So if you don't know it, I'll try to pop up a picture here. It's a beautiful light blue crystal, and it is for connecting your voice to your heart and for cooling. Like it's almost the energy of throwing water onto a fire. So we have that nice play of the elements again with this, but it's also being level-headed and consciously connected. So when we look at recognition, this is one that helps you to be present and aware and connected. And then the purple, I know everybody's going to want to say amethyst, and it's not. It is charoite or charoite. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And I'll try to pop up a picture of that here, but that is related to turning negative emotions into positive. So that's that energy of knowing your chemistry and knowing how you change and affect it. It also prevents overstimulation, and it's a good grounding stone and a stone for inner knowledge. So also very connected to our message. It's on brand, as they would say, with our messaging this month. So that is it for March. Let me know in the comments what you think. Does this feel resonant for you? Does it feel helpful for you to be able to have just a little chat through of what's coming up? It's been, there's been a lot of stuff, even just visually out in the world lately. There are so many things going on continually or continuously, and that hasn't changed in a number of months. So I feel like to some degree we come and we talk about something similar every month, but hopefully we're giving a different perspective and a different way for you to plug in and kind of ride that energetic wave until the following month. And I wish you all the most beautiful of months, and I will see you soon. Bye.